Hey Dad, a couple exercises for you to try for your wrist. So, and then a couple changes to them if it starts to irritate it a little bit. So I think the weights that we've been doing, you doing those for this and this and this. I think the weight can kind of irritate the joint a little bit if it's already aggravated. But I think doing some bands, especially now that you and Mom have some bands, you can use the same ones that you do for your external rotations. Your shoulder ones like this, you can use the same bands, or you can use the ones in the garage. Just make sure it's light, because the focus on these is more control than doing the actual weight. So the first one, basically, with your irritation there and the potential for some arthritis there, the goal is to stabilize everything around it. So if you can make the musculature around it stronger, it'll help stabilize that joint and maybe take some pressure off of it, because what that means is he's distributing the load from your hand to your forearm. So if somewhere up here these guys aren't doing their job, then more of that load is being transferred through the joint than we want, especially if there's already some degenerative changes to that joint. So first is pronation. So we're doing this. So that's a lot of things that you do in tennis is pronation. You also do supination, but this works pronation. So I have the band here against the rack, just kind of pulling that way, kind of like for your, if you're having it pull that way and you're doing coming in or coming out facing away, it's just pulling away from me. So just grip it underhand, or if you have the handle, just grip it underhand, and all you're doing is turning your wrist over and slowly letting your wrist come back to neutral. So my palm starts over and I'm trying to turn my palm downward and slowly over. My elbow stays right here and I'm locked in, turning it over, slowly letting it come back. If that aggravates that part of your arm, you can assist it and get it started to where you're either here, or start it where you're in just neutral, like with your thumb facing towards the sky. So you can start assisted here and slowly let it back. So you're gonna work it when you turn over, and it's also working when you slowly go back. The slowly going back will be easier and it won't put as much stress on the joint if doing this hurts. So you can either try this, just shoot for like 3 sets of 10, 12, something like that, so you get a nice little burn that's gonna be in your forearm, nice little burn. And if that aggravates you, then start with pulling some slack out, and either start here or start here, wherever you can tolerate, and slowly let it go back. Either one of those works. Next is for the muscle that actually runs across that joint that does this. So in tennis, when you backhand, you're doing this, you're extending, and you're radially, or you're ulnarly deviating, ulnar deviation, and extending your wrist when you backhand, and that's actually compressing that joint. So this is going to strengthen the muscle that does that so that it can stabilize a little better. I'm just going to use this hand to show you. Same thing with the band. Try to keep your elbow locked and just press down. Now this is going to compress that joint. So this one, if it's aggravating you or if that feels uncomfortable, then either go lighter on the band, or you can once again assist to just neutral. If you want to have your arm maybe down here a little further, then you can get some more motion out of it, because we're looking for motion in the wrist, so the elbow position doesn't really matter. This is going to give me more room for the, so here, if I let my wrist relax, it doesn't move as far. See, if I'm from neutral and I let my wrist relax, it doesn't go very far. You can start here, my wrist is neutral, and I just slowly let my wrist relax. And it's elongating that muscle, but it's having to work, it's having to work while it's elongating. So that's another one you can do. Start neutral there, slowly let it elongate, or if the movement is comfortable, what would be best is to be able to work through the whole range of motion. And then lastly is just everything in between. So those are two isolated exercises. And then everything in between, you can just stand on a band. So stand on one of your bands and you can just do your wrist curls, nice and slow. You can help it by starting in neutral, slowly lower it down. So anytime you do that slow eccentric instead of the concentric, it's going to be easier on the joint. It'll just be less stress. You can do the same thing overhand. So starting here, you can do your wrist extensions and slowly lower it down. And if those are aggravating, if they irritate the joint, then you can just hold it in neutral here and just slowly relax it. Bring it back, slowly relax it. Even if you just do one of those, 2 of those exercises for a couple weeks, maybe two, 3 times, or every other day, to see if it helps. And yeah, let me know if you get some relief from that. If not, then we'll try something else. I'm still looking for some mobs that I can do there. I couldn't find anything online, so I'm gonna ask a couple of my teachers and see what they say for like some mobilization, so we can get just some range of motion and some fluid in there. But yep, let me know if those help. Love you.